a lot of people make mistakes when it comes to investing, when they swing for the fences every single time.
What's going on, y'all? Welcome back to another episode of the Melanin Money Show. Carter, talk to me, big dog. How you feeling?
Feeling good, man. Welcome back from Miami, bro. We were just in Miami for Memorial Day weekend. Some fun in the sun with some friends. It was a good time, man. Good to see everybody. Good to get out, and yeah, man. Good to be in person again.
Absolutely, y'all. We actually tried to record some in-person episodes for y'all. Reserved the studio, was proactive when everybody else was drinking and partying in the middle of the day. We said, you know what? We want to show up for y'all. And we reserved the podcast studio. We got there and nobody was home. Nobody was home. Couldn't get in. And about a couple hours later, they let us know that, there's a little mix up. So, nonetheless, here we are. Still excited to record. But I'm just going to let y'all know that we tried, though. I don't want y'all to think that we didn't try. Like, we were in person together in Miami and just said, we're not doing no podcast episodes. That was not the case.
Facts. We did what we could, man. But the show will still be fire.
The show still be fire.
But the topic's still good. The topic's still good. Yeah.
So a couple housekeeping things before we get into it. So for those of y'all who don't know, for our YouTube subscribers, we are just a few hundred away from 20,000 of y'all tapped in with the show and the channel. And we just want to say thank you, right? We are grateful. When we started this August 1st, 2021, we just told ourselves we're going to be consistent. We were going to show up. And we are grateful that y'all are showing up for us in response to that. So we really, really appreciate that. And for our loyal audio listeners, Apple Podcasts to be specific, we officially reached the top 74. Right? So that's a very, very huge milestone. There are thousands upon thousands of podcasts. And to be in the top 75 means a lot, right? So y'all heard us say it. We're going to run them clips back. We've said it. What our goal is, and we are consistently marching towards that. But we're only able to do that because of y'all. So if you're listening to this or watching this, if you're watching it, please subscribe, leave a comment, let us know how you love an episode. If you're listening to it, also subscribe on Apple Podcasts or Spotify and leave us a 5-star review. If it's not 5 stars, shoot us a DM and tell us how we can make it 5 stars. Don't leave a review. All right? That's how we're going to do it. But anyways, y'all, so, we are pretty close to the halfway mark of the year, basically, right? And, a lot of people have a lot of goals, and we still think you have a lot of time to achieve those goals. But what we wanted to do is we wanted to talk a little bit about how you can stay broke, right, in 2023, right? I know y'all might hear that and be like, how I can stay broke? Why would I want to stay broke? Well, that's what I said when I saw the episode title from Carter as well. But when he sent it to me, but we were in Miami, and we just were organically talking about how people just chase the shiny balls and always want to swing for the fences when it comes to their goals. And, that's one of the reasons why people stay broke. So we decided just to kind of unpack these thoughts a little bit more so that you guys can make the most out of the second half of 2023.
Yeah. See, most people know what to do, but they don't know what not to do. Right. And even if you're doing some of the things right, if you're doing bigger things wrong, then it outweighs things you're doing right. Like if you're going to the gym 5 days a week, but then you still come home and eat fast food and ice cream, you're going to still have a problem. Thanks. Right? So for me, it's equally as important knowing what to do as it is important to know what not to do. Because sometimes if you just stop doing what you shouldn't do things, then you can flip your situation overnight, right? So
it's kind of like that analogy, like you just said. Like if someone hasn't worked out in a very long time and they also don't eat right, if they just start eating right, even before they consider working out, right, they're going to start dropping weight. Right? If you just stop eating the fast food, if you just cut the portion sizes in half, like that in and of itself will put you in a better direction, right? So it's very important for us to understand what are those roadblocks, what are those things that we can't do on our journey to becoming first generation millionaires. Carl, you want to kick us off with the first one?
Yeah, so the first one, man, we were organically talking about it in Miami. We're about to go somewhere, and we were it was getting bottle service, right? It was going to go somewhere a couple of days ago when we get bottle service. We didn't end up doing it, y'all, but we have found out that the club or the pool party or wherever you at, they will let you use a firm to buy bottle service, which is crazy to me. For those of you all that don't know, that don't know what a firm is, it's a buy now, pay later company that will basically allow you to get whatever you want now and pay it off over time. But they let you do this with bottle service.
Yeah,
that is crazy. So the lesson in that is like spending money before you get it is a guaranteed way to stay broke. Jay, I'll let you expound on it.
Yeah, like I remember like seeing it like it was yesterday, and it was like you can break it up in 4 payments or however many payments, like for a bottle that's already overpriced that you shouldn't be buying anyway. But the bigger picture here, and I don't know if we talked about this on another episode or if me and Carter were just having a conversation about it, but it's like, matter of fact, no, we did talk about it. It's like when you are on the journey towards achieving greatness, on the journey to living your best life, because we talk about the write-offs, right? And like how people want to run the play before they need to run the play, right? The bigger thing is like, you can't even enjoy it, right? You stressed out, you penny pinching, you putting just enough gas in the car. Like when you do something prematurely, you rob yourself of the enjoyment of really being able to bask in it, right? And that sucks because we're never going to tell you not to buy the nice house. We're never going to tell you not to buy the nice car. We're just going to say, make sure that you do it when it makes sense, when it's in alignment with your budget. Even me and Carter at the level that we're at, we're candidly talking. He was like, I'm gonna pump the brakes on some unnecessary purchases just so I can, tuck even more money away, right? Not that we're not already doing a lot of the right things and checking all the right boxes. We wouldn't obviously have this show if that wasn't the case, right? But it's like, at the end of the day, right, we have to learn how to prioritize. And when you spend it before you get it, not only are you robbing Peter to pay Paul, you're literally robbing from your own joy of being able to have fun, right? So when your other peers or whoever else might already be on that level and you're trying to keep up with the Joneses, when they riding out on the weekend with the Lambos or they're running up a check at the fancy restaurant, you trying to transfer money from the savings account to make sure the car don't get declined in front of your friends, right? That's not the move, right? So like, just make sure that you know that it's okay to stay in your lane, right? Do it when it makes sense for you, not just because it's the financially obviously responsible thing to do, but so that you can actually enjoy it when it's your season, right? You want to enjoy it when it's your season. You don't want to be resenting yourself. Have y'all ever made some purchases? Like, I know we've all been there before, right? Where you made some purchases and then 2-3 months pass and money's kind of tight. And you're literally resenting the purchase, like, dang, I should have never bought that. And I wouldn't be in the situation I'm in right now, right? You don't want that to be you. We too grown for that, right? So make sure you're not spending before you get it, because that's one of the easiest ways to guarantee that you'll stay broke.
Yeah, because like if you spend it before you get it, then when you do get the money, your money goes to paying off. Like imagine getting a paycheck. And some of y'all have to imagine. Some of y'all it's reality, unfortunately, because and we've been there before. When you get your paycheck goes to credit card bills because you have to pay off all the things you prematurely paid for, right? So it kind of robs you of the joy of payday even, right? Like, oh, payday's Friday, but the money's already got to go somewhere because you spent it during the week, right? So spending money before you get it is a guaranteed way to stay broke. Let's not do that in 2023. Let's just wait till we get the money and ask ourselves, can we afford it?
As a matter of fact, it's funny you say that, because when I think about my actually this is the way I articulated it. Whenever like your bills, right, your fixed expenses, your rent, your mortgage, your car payment, whatever, I call that your past commitment money, right? Because you already decided at some point in the past to make that car payment, right? To sign that lease, right? So that's your past commitment. You want to know where that money's coming from at least 30 days in advance, right? Now, eating out, shopping, entertainment, that's what I like to call your present choices money, right? That's your 7-day money. And that's where you have the most autonomy and most control. Because past commitments is like, well, when's that lease up? Right? That's when you can say, like, okay, it's time to maybe downsize or switch things up. But for eating out, dining, gas, all that kind of stuff, entertainment, that's your 7-day money, because those are your present choices, right? You have a choice each and every day to decide, am I going to run it up and blow this money on nonsense, or am I going to be a good steward over my finances, right? And then, of course, you're investing or planning for, future expenses, right? That's the most important bucket, in my opinion, right? Those are your future commitments. And every time that you make too many past commitments, you're robbing from your future commitments, right? Like, you're literally robbing from your future self. Like, the George from 10 years from now is looking back like, yo, really, bro? Like, that's what we own? Like, you really want me to work until I'm 55? Like, that's the type of time we own? Right? So, guys, like, I know some of y'all, our listener base is probably anywhere between 23 to like early 40s. But listen, this is the way I explained this to somebody earlier this week. It's so simple. And I want you guys to grasp this, okay? Right now, you produce income, right? You work and you get paid. 20 years from now, you're going to have expenses, right? And if you don't produce the income and or have something that can produce the income for you, guess what? You're still going to have to work. Retirement isn't this magical thing where I turn 60, I get to shut it down. The government's going to save me. That's not how it works. It has nothing to do with your age. It has everything to do with your assets. And when you don't make the commitment to start tucking money away for the future and not robbing yourself, right? You're just basically saying, I want to work forever. And if that's what you want to do, cool. But I would have a hard time believing that anybody that's listening to this show wants to work forever.
Absolutely. So that's number one, guys. If you want to stay broke, spending money before you get it is a guaranteed way to do so. So do the opposite. Like, if you just do the opposite of everything we say here, it's really the keys on becoming wealthy, right? Just do the opposite of what we're saying. So number two is paying yourself last, right? Like, if you want to stay broke, if you want a guaranteed method to staying broke, here's the formula. Get paid and set money aside with what you have left, right? Like, this is a guaranteed formula for being poor. Get money, make money, receive money, and then say that I'm going to save or invest whatever's left, right? Because we all know that if that's the case, it's going to be very little, if anything, left over to invest. Right? Because when you pay yourself last, you're not even making a commitment to an amount. You're just like, yo, whatever's left after this weekend, I thought about this, about that, I'm going to go ahead and save the rest. Like, no, if you pay yourself last, odds are ain't going to be nothing left to pay him. Right? And it's something like I teach when I teach about taxes, is like, as entrepreneurs, we get to pay ourselves first, meaning spend our money on tax deductible items, and we get to pay the IRS last, right? And just like paying ourselves last, if we take advantage of paying the IRS last, ain't gonna be that much left to pay him by the time it's time to come pay him, because we reinvested that money back into our business. So it works the same way. If you pay yourself last, odds are you won't be paying yourself anything.
Yeah, and it's a huge psychological benefit, right, that comes with that as well. It's right, like you're prioritizing you above anything else, right? It's like, if I pay myself last, that means I'm last, right? It means I'm the least important thing after my rent, after my mortgage, after my entertainment, after whatever else I got to pay. I'm the least important thing on that list, right? What type of psychological benefit or impact, rather, do you think that's going to have on your mindset when it comes to building wealth? You're going to think of it as something that is an afterthought, something that's not important, something that should not be prioritized. But when you pay yourself first, it's a completely different paradigm shift. Right? It's like, this is what's most important, and I'm going to figure out everything else. Right? I'm going to figure out everything. I literally go broke investing. Right? Like, literally. Like, I literally will force myself to go make more money, and I act like the account has a lock on it, right? It's like, even though it's mine, you know what I'm saying? Like that money doesn't exist. The same way if I were to go make a car payment or make an Amex payment, I can't call Amex like, yo,
let me get some of that back, yo. Let me get some of that back.
They're gonna laugh at me. You know what I'm saying? Like, bro, you crazy. You know what I'm saying? So I try to treat my future self and my investments the same way.
Hey, aren't you tired of buying courses in those emotional states when you want to get a result, but then you actually don't do anything with the course? Do you know on average, the completion rate for a course is about 2%? But here's the thing, it's not entirely your fault. The problem is you buy the course, but you don't have access to the source who actually created it.
See, that's why we're doing something different. With the Melanin Millionaire Club, you're not just gonna get access to courses, you'll get access to the people who created it so you can get your questions answered. Because it's not just about learning, it's about taking that information so you can start earning. So the Melanin Millionaire Club is gonna give you access to courses, but not just that, it's an entire university of information. We have financial flicks, we have hundreds of previous recordings, but more than that, y'all, we have an amazing community of people just like you who are trying to become a first generation millionaire. So like GA said, like you can survive without community, but you can't thrive without community. So this is the place you need to be, right?
100%, because here's the thing. If it was just about information, we'd all be billionaires with six packs. So that's why every single Monday, we're going to set the tone for your week with Melanin Millionaire Mondays, where our entire community is going to meet up. The energy is going to be high. We're going to set the intention for what we're going to execute on so we can move the needle forward, and Carter and I and the rest of our team can keep you accountable.
So that's enough information. You see the rest in the club. All you got to do, click the link below, sign up, and start your journey to your first millionaire year. Let's get it, man.
Let's go.
Right? It's like, I don't like that money doesn't exist. Like, and it really works. So sometimes I log into accounts, it's like, oh shoot, like
I'm actually good. Like,
I'm straight. Right. So it actually works, y'all. So you want to stay broke though. Like, remember, that's the objective here. If you want to stay broke, then just keep paying yourself last. But if you don't, like Carter said, then do the opposite, right? That's a guaranteed way to stay broke, is by not prioritizing, right? Paying yourself first.
I love it. We don't got to beat that. We don't got to beat over dead horse. So we hit that a lot, man. This is something this next one was something that came up in the car, right? We're driving through Miami. We were talking about some things, and we were just saying, like, a lot of people make mistakes when it comes to investing, when they swing for the fences every single time. Right. So just like baseball players, guys, like sometimes you just need a base hit. Mm-hmm. Like sometimes all you need, like, is the base. Y'all, like if the bases are loaded, tie ball game, it's what you don't gotta swing for a home run. Just get a single, get a double. Y'all still gonna win the game. And so many of us look at investing like we have to swing for the fences every single time. Like you don't. If you invest X amount of dollars for X amount of months, you're going to be like, there is no need for unnecessary risk if you're taking care of things. Like if you're in a position where you can invest, let's just say $2,000 a month, that is $24,000 a year, right? You don't need to take unnecessary risk. If you look at any investment calculator, you invest in $2,000 a month, you're going to be fine over time, right?
You're going to be ahead of a lot of people, right? Just being consistent.
Yeah.
Just consistent, right? And from entrepreneurs out there, listen, like you see companies like Facebook, Amazon, all these big tech companies laying people off, tightening their belt, right? In this recession, right? What on God's green earth makes you think that your business is so great that you aren't taking a risk, right? And that you might not experience ebbs and flows, right? You're taking a big risk by being an entrepreneur. And that's a risk I'll take every day of the week, but it is a risk. It's a concentrated asset. And I'm pretty sure many of you have heard me say this before. Most people, well, this is the way to make wealth, right? Wealth is made through concentration. It's preserved through diversification, right? And what I mean by that is your business is your concentrated asset. It's preserved through buying safe, right? Very logical, straightforward investments, right? That are predictable over an extended period of time. There's no reason why you should be taking all this risk with your business, right? And doubling down, trying to grow that, and then try to go out here and hit a home run with, oh, I heard this guy who's going to stand up this Amazon store for me. All I got to do is pay him. I'm gonna be transparent with y'all, right? Like I even tried that because I could, and it didn't really hurt me, right? To speculate a little bit. But what I realized is that I'm already putting enough risk in growing this successful business. I want my investments to be predictable and boring. Shout out to my guy, Ian Dunlap, right? He was like, if you want excitement, slap a lion on the ass, right? But don't excitement with your investments. Everybody's trying to chase the shiny ball, the AMC, the meme stocks. Like, that's cool. And if you get lucky, which is, let's call it what it is, if you get lucky and hit, I'm happy for you. I'm not salty, but just know that's not predictable, right? And if you
actually, one of the worst things you can do is hit. Not to cut you off, GA. One of the worst things you can do is hit on the first time, because then you get this falsified confidence that, oh, that's going to work every single time. And then you go chasing that first hit again, and you end up losing more than that first hit came from. So, like, guys, like, not to cut you off, GA, but like, yo, like, hit or don't hit, understand that it's luck, because like one of the most dangerous things you can do is to think you're smarter than what you really are.
Yeah.
Right? It's dangerous.
Very dangerous. And that's what happened in 2020, right? Like, that's literally what happened in 2020. Everybody was an expert. I've been investing for over 12 years, and I've never seen so many people who just thought they were outsmarting the stock market, right? And they gave 98% of that money back, right? They gave 98% of that money back to the market, right? Like, listen, it's just like credit card rewards points, right? Like, if you're smart, right? If you have a proven track record of being able to use your credit card like a debit card, then cool, play the game. But if not, you think this multi-billion-dollar industry is somehow losing money to give you benefits for swiping your card? No, they know most of y'all, right? The ones that want to stay broke, right, are swiping that card, paying the minimum balance, and then saying, oh, well, it offsets because I get rewards points benefits at the hotel. Y'all about to have me out of character on this episode, right? Like, no, that's not how it works, right? So if you want to, and the only way to outsmart the game, right? The only way to outsmart the game is to not try to hit home runs, right? Like, think about it. And I'm gonna bring it back home with the credit card, right? The way you actually benefit from the credit card's rewards points is by using it the same way you use a debit card. That's the way you outsmart it, because you're paying it off every month, you're not accruing any interest, and then you do get to use the benefits. The only way to win in the market or win with investing, right, is to actually buy predictable investments over an extended period of time and let them grow. When you think you're going to find that winning stock and get a 400% return, you're going to give so much money back before you hit, right, that it's going to be a wash and you're probably going to lose money. So the only way to really win, or even if you want to call it outsmarting the game, is to play by the rules. Let's call it rich people rules, right? Like, play by the rules. Don't think that you know something that other people don't know. Now, here's the thing. I'm not saying that it's impossible to do those things. If you want to commit your life to being a credit card rewards hacker, or commit your life to being a world-class investor or trader, maybe. That is the exception, not the norm, right? That is the exception, not the norm. Do not try to swing for the fences, because I promise you, on most occasions, you're going to strike out.
Yeah, one of the best books I've ever read, investing books, is Investment Mistakes Even Smart Investors Make. It was a phenomenal book, because I thought I was smart, right? I was learning about all these books about investing. I'm a financial advisor, all this, and I literally read this book. Like, if I didn't read this book, I would have made every single mistake that was made. And one of the major mistakes is thinking you're smarter than you really are, because you hit. Like in 2020, the market was up 30, 40%. You couldn't lose. You couldn't lose until you start losing. Right? So, don't swing for the fences every time, guys. There's times where you can swing for the fences. There's moments, but like sometimes just get on base, and you still are going to win the game. Okay? So,
and you speculate with a little bit, like reserve like 5% of your portfolio, right? It's like, okay, I'm gonna play around. I'm gonna play around with a little bit. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna see what this NVIDIA do. I'm gonna see what this like cool, right? Like, you can do that, but just don't put like your core, like, don't bet the house on it. I saw so many stories of people who were like, when crypto was going crazy, people like liquidating their 401ks, saying forget the fees because it's going to run up so crazy, it don't even matter. People taking out second mortgages because rates were at all-time lows. Nightmares, right? Like, guys, like we don't want that to be y'all, unless you want it to be you, but we don't want that to be you. Okay?
Yeah, big facts, big facts. And oh crap. Last but not least, y'all. Last but not least, as far as ways to guarantee you stay broke, and in my opinion, GA, you can speak on this as well. It's doing broke activities and speaking broke words, right? So this is, and I'll hit on the speaking broke words first, and then we can talk about doing broke activities, right? When people say words like, "Hey man, how can I flip this? Like, how can I flip this money right quick? Like I get that. Hey man, I got 1,000. How can I flip?" Like, that's not. We are not selling drugs here, bro. Like, we are not selling drugs here. Like, this is not a flip. You can't just try to flip everything, right? Like, that's a bad question to ask, right? And so, like, having that broke talk, how can I flip this? Or, to doing broke activities, like taking money, like taking money out of an investment once it's already been put on there, that's a broke activity. Like, once a dollar is put into a portfolio or whatever, taking that money out is a broke person habit, right? Mm-hmm. Because just like we said, you can't take the money back from the credit. Like, you pay your car note, and let me get 100 of that back right quick. Like, you set your investment for $500 a month, but then every month you just take out a quick 100 because you need, like, that's a broke person activity. Mm-hmm. We are not doing that. So you need to, like, one of the best things you can do is, like, when money's invested, treat it as if it's already gone, because it is. That money is to your future self. Taking from your savings account to spend, taking from your investment account to spend is a broke person habit. And trust me, if you do that, you end up broke. Even if you started rich, even if you started up on the right track, if you start doing broke habits, like taking from your investments to spend that money, you'll be broke before you know it.
Big facts. Big facts. Yeah, I mean, I couldn't have said it better myself. Like I said earlier in the episode, guys, and this might be helpful to you. This might be an exercise. You know, we like to give y'all tangible takeaways on every episode. One of the first things I did when I became a financial advisor is I had my clients rename all of their accounts, right? And you can name them whatever you want, but like one of the popular ones is like peace of mind, like their peace of mind fund, right? Because it's really hard. Like, you really want to take from your peace of mind, right? Mm-hmm. Or quit my job fund, or whatever was important to them. I had them rename their accounts. And because here's the thing, there is a psychology of saving money, right? So, like, if you look in your online banking and you look at all your transaction history, you see money going out, food, gas, whatever the expense is, right? You'll probably see 80 transactions of just money going somewhere. But then when you look at money coming into your account, right? 2, 3, 4 times, maybe, depending upon who you are. Hopefully, if you're an entrepreneur, maybe a lot more than that. But there's a lot less times money's coming into your account. So what happens on a psychological level is you're now conditioned to understand money comes in, money goes out. Money comes in, money goes out. I'm not here to try to change the psychology of money. I don't think that's my calling. I don't think I even have the capacity to do that. But what I can do is help you do it in a way that aligns with the way your psychology organically works. Here's what I mean by that. If you pay yourself first, which we talked about earlier, and have that money go to a specific purpose, not savings account 6497, right? But I'm leaving this job fund, my peace of mind fund. Now you're treating it the same way you're treating the expense, right? And once that money goes to the peace of mind fund, or it goes to the dream house fund, or it goes to whatever is important to you fund, it's gone. Right? That's a transaction. That's an expense. You can't get it back. And that has been a psychological hack that's been really beneficial for me and really beneficial for my clients. So, guys, to do that as a takeaway, right? Check out your online banking, right? And identify a couple of accounts that you can rename for the purpose of making sure that you don't make broke people decisions and do broke people activities, like robbing from your investment account. That's what you're doing. Right? You're robbing from your investment account because you made a bad past commitment and now you're having to play catch up. So can we do that? can we do the exercise of renaming at least one of our accounts to something that aligns to a goal that we're trying to achieve, so that we feel better about seeing that money go out the same way money goes out for all your expenses? That is the homework assignment of this episode.
It's funny that you say that, because my main investment account is called Freedom Fund, and you will never see me take away from my freedom. You know what I'm saying? So like, just like you wouldn't take money out that Jamaica trip fund, right? Make sure you name your account Freedom Fund or something, or Fire My Boss Fund, so that you know that if you're taking away from that, you're taking away from either your freedom or your ability to leave the job that you're at. But those are 4 things, y'all. So if you take today's episode and just do the opposite of everything we said, you'll find out the secrets on how to become rich or how to become wealthy instead of staying broke, because we're not being broke in 2023. Ain't happening.
Ain't happening. All right, guys, last housekeeping thing. I meant to say it in the beginning. If you're listening to this episode, we are days away from our next stop on the podcast tour in New York City. Welcome to New York City. Guys, it's going to be a vibe. It's going to be a vibe. So make sure that if you're in or around the area, or you know somebody that needs to be in the building, make sure y'all go to proofandprofits.com, right, and grab your ticket. Go to proofandprofits.com. That's a domain, right?
Proofandprofits.com, yep.
Right. Proofandprofits.com and grab your tickets. Can't wait to see you in the building for our VIP. I think we're sold out. But if we have any left,
VIP. But general admission is still there.
General admission is still there. Like, as long as you're in the building, that's all that matters, right? We got MG, the mortgage guy, that's gonna come bring the fire. We got our good friend and special guest, Shaquana, also known as Miss Business, who is hosting the New York stop, because New York is their city. So we said we couldn't come to New York, not report to the bridge, and have our friends, hold it down. So make sure y'all tap in. It's going to be a vibe, and we can't wait to see y'all there. And most importantly, we can't wait to see you on the next episode. Peace.